When you're doing analysis of variance, your null hypothesis is always all this population means are equal. Your alternate is just they're not all equal, or at least one of the population means is different. And the test statistic is F, which is the mean square of the groups divided by mean square of the errors. Real quick, what does this really mean? The mean square of the groups is basically it's the amount of variation you have among the groups. The variation, I guess, of the sample mean. And I'll get more detail in a minute here. And that's divided by the variation within the groups. All right, so let's take a look at our sample results here. Where you're looking at the different kinds of baseball players. We have the on-base percentages right here. Let's take a quick scan of the sample means. We have 4 different groups. The null says that all 4 groups all have of the populations. Remember, these are just samples. So out of all the millions of baseball players in the whole world, would they all have the same population means of on-base percentages? And so if the null is true, if all 4 population means were really equal, I could see getting, just by normal sampling variation, getting 0.32 and 0.34, 0.33. You can see the sample means are almost all the same right here. So it looks like I would not reject the null just based on that. However, look at the standard deviation. They're also really, really small. And so when you have very, very little variation within your groups, then it's possible that there really is a true difference, but it's just a very, very small difference. So that's why you have to look at the ratio of the variation among the sample means divided by the variation within each of the groups right there. And so let's just go back to our formulas here. So MSG, let's look at that in a little bit more detail. Let's get a new sheet here. So MSG. So first of all, a few labels. K is the number of groups. In this case, we have 4 groups. The degrees of freedom of the groups is K minus 1, which in this case would be 3. Now, the next thing we want to know is how far is an individual mean from one group? How far is it from the overall mean of all the baseball players put together? So it's x bar I minus x bar. The mean of one group minus the overall mean. Square that, which gives you a sense. It's kind of like deviations of the means. How far is the mean of one group from the overall mean? Square it all, times that by the sample size of each group. Sum that all together, and that's called the sum of the squares of the groups. And then we divide that by the degrees of freedom of the groups. In this case, is 3. And that's equal to the means of, let's write MSG in front here. MSG is equal to that right there. So let's do that calculation right now. So let's just go back to our spreadsheet, and let's make another column. Let's label this MSG. Oh, battery's low. All right. Just a second, let me plug in my computer. Okay, got it. Okay, so now let's label this here. So I'm going to take the sample size of each group, times it by the mean of each group. I'll just use X for the mean. I know that's weird, but I don't have an X bar thing, so I'll just do XI minus the overall mean squared. Okay, so now equal sign. The sample size of the first group is 39. It's in cell B3. Times that by the mean of the first group, which is in cell C3, minus the overall mean, which is down here in cell C7. Let's put dollar signs on that one because F4 will do that, because I don't want that number to change when I copy this down. And then square the whole thing. Okay, there we have it. Let's just copy that down to the next 3 rows right there. One number in scientific notation, no big deal. I'll just add them all up. Okay, so now let's take one more look here. So I did for every row, I just did the mean of that one group minus the overall mean, which is down here in the grand total, squared, and then times by the sample size of each of those groups. Okay, now add those all together. So equal sign sum of cells E3 through E6, closing parentheses. Okay, now that is, let's go back to our formula here. So what I just computed was this right there. It's I took each sample mean minus the overall mean squared times by the sample group, added it all together. Now divide by the degrees of freedom, which is just 3. So I'll just do equal sign that number, divide by 3. Okay, 0.0025. Okay, now let's go back to our paper. Let's take a look now at the denominator, the mean square of the errors. Okay, so first of all, let's look at the degrees of freedom. The degrees of freedom for this, the degrees of freedom of the errors. Now, the reason it's called errors is because it's like deviation in a way, is a way to think of it, but they just call it errors, so we'll just go with it. So the degrees of freedom is n minus k, where n is the number of data points all together, all the groups combined, minus the number of groups, which is, if we go back to our spreadsheet here, in this case, the total number, n, is 327, and there's 4 groups there, so it's just 327 minus 4, which is 323. Okay, so the formula, the mean square of the errors. So there's a few different ways of doing this. The easiest one, in my opinion, is just this. N I1, the sample size of each group minus 1 times the standard deviation of each group right there, and then sum it all together right there, and then divide that by the degrees of freedom of the errors. And so standard deviation, that's x minus x bar for every data point, and then divide by n minus 1, but then you multiply by n minus 1 to cancel it out, and so that just gives you basically the sum of all the, it's like it's all the deviations squared of all the data points is the way to think about it. It's just a shortcut to get it. So now let's do that calculation on our spreadsheet. So back to our spreadsheet here. That should be it. Here it is. Okay. So MSE, sum of the squares of the errors. So let's label this here. It's just n minus 1 times the standard deviation squared of each group. So, equal sign n minus 1. So n is of the first group is 39 minus the 1 times that by the standard deviation, which is in cell D3 squared. Okay, there it is. Let's copy that down. Okay, let's take one more look here. I did n minus 1 of each group times the standard deviation of each group squared, right there. Let's sum it all up. Here we go. Okay, and then divide by the degrees of freedom of the errors, which is just 323. So F7 divided by 323. Okay, there we have it. So we have the mean square within the groups, among the groups, pardon me, which just is, it's a measurement of how much variation you have among the different samplings right there. Divided by the overall variation within all the groups, which is, I guess you could say it's like a compilation of these standard deviations right there, 0.00126. So you take that ratio, and that's F right here. So let's just do equal sign. The first one, the mean square of the groups divided by, here we go, the mean square of the errors, 1.99. Now for the p-value, you can use the fdist command. So f.dist.rt, and the arguments there, the first one is your f right there, and then your degrees of freedom. There's 2 degrees of freedom with f. So the first degrees of freedom is the degrees of freedom among the groups, which is 3, and then the degrees of freedom within the groups, which is, what was it, 323. And there it is, 0.11469 right there. So that's a pretty high p-value, which means that if the null hypothesis is true, if all this population means are truly equal, there's about an 11.5% chance of getting sample means as far apart as we got right there. And that's how you do analysis of variance.